The options for some nice quality cinema glass are few and far between, but today we're going to be looking at a budget option for getting into cinema glass. These are the full frame rated Meike 35mm, 50mm and 85mm, all T2.1. We're going to be looking at their sharpness, how they handle highlights and flaring, and any distortion that you need to look out for. And also, I would argue most importantly, how consistent they are across the board in terms of colour. Are there any weird colour shifts, hue shifts, and any differences in contrast that would make it problematic to cut between these lenses during a multicam shoot if they are all on the same bodies? So, a full disclaimer, I've got no association with Mikey. How I heard about these lenses is there's a production company who I regularly shoot for, and they actually own a set of these lenses in-house. So I've had the opportunity to use these lenses on several promotional shoots, and over that time I've got a pretty decent feel for these lenses. So I thought I'd book them out and run them through some tests to see from a technical standpoint what these lenses are all about. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first of all, let's talk about the design and the build quality of these lenses. As for anybody who's used the very popular Samyang Cine lens set, I've actually got a set right here, you'll know that these lenses are not exactly known for their build quality. But how do these Mikey lenses feel? The Mikey lenses do have an all-metal construction, and I must say they feel solid and durable. They feel professional, how they should. They've got great focus and iris rings, and these are a Cine standard pitch. They've got a long 270-degree focus throw, which is always nice to have for precise focus. They've also got a uniform design right across the board, and this is lovely if you're using a follow focus, because if you ever change lens, you won't have to adjust the position of anything. The focus rings always line up, no matter whether you're at 35mm or 85mm. Additionally to this, they also have the same filter thread, which is 82mm for the full frame set, which is what we're taking a look at today. These lenses are also really compact. They're not too heavy at all, making them ideal for those smaller shoots or even if you're a solo operator. And it's great if you like to use glide cams or gimbals as well. Not too bulky, not too heavy, but they don't feel cheap and light and plasticky either. They seem to have got a decent balance here. So let's move on to the optical performance. I was pleasantly surprised to see these lenses remain fairly sharp, even wide open at T2.1, especially in the centre, albeit with slightly soft edges when wide open. But to be honest, this is to be expected, not only wide open, but also on a lens of this price range. But to be honest with you, a lot of times I tend to soften the edges of my image anyway. I kind of like this. It was soft enough to add a little bit of character, but it wasn't at all distracting. And for shooting interviews, I wouldn't really go any wider than T2.5 anyway. When it comes to focus breathing, there's very little. Sometimes in stills lenses, when you focus in and out, it looks like the lens is zooming in and out as well a little bit. But with these, it doesn't appear to be a problem. There's a slight little bit of mini zoom, but it's not at all distracting, and nothing like what you get with most stills lenses. In terms of their colour rendering, they seem to be slightly warm across the set, but definitely very neutral. Even though the coatings on these lenses aren't particularly high quality, in terms of contrast, they seem pretty respectable. But there is some slight inconsistencies across the set, and this is one of the big things that you're paying for when you go with a higher quality set of cinema lenses. It's that consistency when you change lenses. The bokeh seems lovely and really smooth, especially with my favourite, the 85, and it always works great for subject separation. In terms of the flaring, it's not too over the top, and overall it's pretty visually pleasing. These lenses aren't super crazy with the flaring, but they're also not too clinical either. There's a bit of an artsy glow with it, but to be honest with you, when it's the time and the place for flaring, I'm all for it. In terms of the speed of these lenses, as I mentioned, they're all T2.1, and I wouldn't expect any lower than that, which is more than adequate. It's great for low light and depth of field. Obviously it goes without saying with this being a cinema lens set, but the aperture is declicked, so you can do nice smooth iris pulls. Moving on to the practical use of these lenses. Again, with these being cinema lenses, they're all fully manual, and rightfully so. There's no autofocus, so you get full control. As these are cinema lenses, they're designed to be used with a focus puller. This particular set that I've got with me today has an EF mount, which works natively on Canon cinema bodies, and any camera that's adopted the EF mount, or via adapter. Finally, As I mentioned, they're nice and compact, great for travel and gimbal use. So who is this set of cinema lenses for? I think these lenses are ideal for indie filmmakers, people who are shooting music videos, interviews, passion projects, low budget narrative work, even some more sort of high-end corporate interviews, which is exactly what I've used these lenses on a few times before. These lenses are a great way to introduce yourself to using prime cinema lenses without spending thousands and just getting used to the workflow of using prime cine lenses, because it's a lot different to using a stills lens, which is what most of us started out using, myself included. Alright, so I've just spent however long gushing over these lenses, so let's talk about some downside. Like I said before, there is a bit of edge softness when you stop right down to T2.1, and as I say, personally for me that's not a problem as long as the kind of center sharpness is okay. As I've said though, it does improve when you stop down. There's no electronic communication between the lens and the camera. This electronic communication is what some high-end cine lenses do have, which is a little bit annoying when your first AC has to walk over to the camera and peer around the side just to see what T-stop it's at. Ideally, you should be able to see that on your live feed. But to be honest, if you're working in a crew, the chances are you're going to be using something much more high-end. Unfortunately, these lenses aren't weather sealed either, if you do a lot of outdoor location shooting, like myself. So that's definitely something to be well aware of if, like me, you do a lot of on-location shoot. If you find yourself in a nice air-conditioned studio most of the time, then not a problem at all. So let's talk about the overall value. These lenses have pretty incredible price to performance, and it gets you a step closer to that cinematic look without breaking the bank. And they do compete with some higher end lenses when it comes to performance and image quality. So overall, I'm a fan. The great thing about these lenses is that they compete with higher end glass in most domains. As I said at the start, these aren't my lenses. I've got no affiliation with Mikey. These lenses are owned by a production company who I regularly shoot for. So if you've got any questions about these lenses, or maybe you'd like to see some more real world testing, then let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If there's anything you're unsure about, or if you've got any questions about these lenses, then let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. I've also got a set of the very popular Samyang, or Rokinon as they're otherwise known as, cine lenses, and I'd be curious myself to compare these lenses together and see how they stack up. If that's something you'd be interested in too, then let me know and I'll be sure to make a future video on that. If you like this video, then be sure to give it a like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all of my future uploads. That wraps it up for this one, but as always, I'll see you in the next one.